I usually avoid front-facing camera because I think that the quality isn't as good, but so I'm going to do one of my little updates, but I'm going to start it off with a bang with the Doordash, the good old Doordash. So, you know, it's that time of year where everything's very expensive and I need to make rent. So I've been doing Doordash. I spent pretty much all day on New Year's Eve dashing. I dashed from noon until 4, and then I picked it back up 6 p.m. until 3 a.m. So I did a lot of dashing, and there wasn't a lot of open. So not only were there a lot of people getting food because nothing was really open, but the places that were open were so crazy. I'm going to put a little bit of a video and some pictures on the screen. And I would have recorded more, but I'm really weird in the sense that I'm not comfortable recording people in public. So it's not very much to show you, but this was at the McDonald's, and the orders were lined up in the window because there were so many people at the door crowding the door. The inside was closed, that they wanted at least a somewhat efficient way to make sure that anything that was just sitting there, if somebody came through, they could see it. But they had so many that not all of them would fit in the window. I remember at one point some guy was walking away with his order and he made seagull noises. And that got to me, because this entire time I went into it in a very good mood. I knew that it would be weird and wacky and crazy because it was Christmas, but I made good money, and that's what kept me going. And I wasn't really in a bad mood at any point throughout Christmas Eve. I thought it was funny and whimsical and kind of weird and strange, and just, you know, I kept saying that it was like the Black Friday for Dashers, because not only do people tend to make more money during holidays, but they were crowding around the door, man, calling out their numbers, even though the employees were calling out their numbers, you know, and just pushing past each other, crowding the door, and I'm just staying 10 feet back, just watching chaos ensue. It was wild. It was something else. I also forgot to add that it kind of felt like for the first time I was mingling with my coworkers, because at a lot of points where there was a crowd of people waiting, I oftentimes found myself talking to other dashers and just talking about our experiences. So it was quirky, I guess. I'm going to use that to segue into one of the points that I have about Doordash. Doordash has this feature where occasionally it'll ask you, do you feel safe? And every time I do, because the city is not terrible, you know, it has its rough areas like every other city, but if you mind your own business, you're good for the most part. People pretty much leave delivery people alone. Knock on wood. So usually my answer is, yeah, I'm perfectly safe. But they never give you that option when you go to a restaurant. And they also don't let you, like, omit a restaurant from your Dash offers. Like, there are some places that I really wish I could say, hey, I don't want to go here anymore, because some places don't have parking, or some places the wait time is always ridiculous. You know, there's just a lot of factors to consider when you're doing a DoorDash, and unfortunately you can either just decline or accept, and the decline hurts you after a while. So whatever. My point being, DoorDash never asks me if I feel safe at a restaurant. You know what restaurant I didn't feel safe at these last few days? McDonald's. Like, that was crazy. If something would have happened, it would have been at that McDonald's. Not in the neighborhood nearby. Not in the neighborhood 5 blocks away. It would have been right then and there. I could have witnessed a stabbing, okay? And yet, earlier that day, like maybe 3 hours earlier, while it was still daylight, because that story was right around 10 p.m., I think 10:30-ish. I say in the day, and that at 7 p.m. it was already dark. So probably around like 4:35, I had this one order for this elderly facility, and the person I was delivering to was blind. And so I had to call twice to get the door code and deliver it up to her. You know, really smooth process. I did finally get a hold of her, got the door code, got her food, wished her Merry Christmas, all that fun stuff. And as I'm leaving, DoorDash is like, do you feel safe? Do you feel safe? Are you getting robbed at gunpoint by an elderly man? And I was like, ooh. Okay, it didn't say all that, but it did ask me, like, are you feeling safe? And I'm like, yeah, I'm perfectly. There's all these people are above age 70, like, chill, bro. So DoorDash irritates me a lot. I could make an entire video of just like stories from DoorDash, or just like strange experiences, or just my gripes with the app, because it's not perfect, and there are a lot of recommendations I could have. Like, bonus holiday pay. Like, maybe consider giving people extra $5 per order during the holiday, like Thanksgiving, the night before Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas, because not only is it really busy, but the most important thing is that things run out of stock. Things run out of stock like crazy, and places like Meijer are really bad at updating the stock. So me as a shopper, if I have somebody who's getting 30 items and they're out of stock of half of these, not only do I have to sit there and communicate with the person about what they want instead, but I also have to refund items that have no replacement, you know? Like if they're out of lettuce, I'm not just going to be able to pull out some more lettuce from somewhere, and the more that you refund back to the customer, the less you get on your Doordash. And I think that's shitty. I think there should be some kind of guarantee that as long as you put in the work, you're going to get a pretty decent buck out of it, because it's still labor, you know? Like I said, I can make a whole video about that. I can make a whole video about Doordash. I can make a whole video about a lot of things, actually. So just let me know what you want to see. Right now I'm focusing on media. And now we're going to lead into the second part of this video, upcoming projects. So on my main channel, on my AMV channel, I will be releasing something around March. I am once again participating in RICE, an anonymous community-led editing event. Very fun, very fun. I am finishing up that video now. It's probably going to take another week or two to complete, but I have until February 2nd to submit it. And basically, once the anonymous stuff ends and everybody is revealed, I don't have to reveal myself, but I'm going to post it, so that's when you're going to see that. In the meantime, though, this is going to be a pretty good time for me, because first of all, your boy got a tablet. Second of all, your boy got an SSD for 250 gigabytes. So those are two very wonderful things, two very good things that are going to keep me productive. I'm especially excited for the tablet because I have drawn out storyboards. I have about 3 storyboards just kind of drawn out, really short scenes. And then I have a couple of screenshots, like fake screenshots of what I would want my show to look like. And then also just working on character designs in general and just kind of trying to get basic models and potentially learn how to rig things in After Effects, because you can actually animate really effectively in After Effects. So I'm going to look into that. I really hope I can make that work. If not, Photoshop. I mean, you know, I've done animation, small animations in Photoshop, so that is probably what I will end up doing. So keep an eye out for any animations. I might do some more speed painting, speed drawing. That's all like a tentative maybe. Right now, the definite yes is the Doctor Who series. I am going to wait to edit Doctor Who until probably like February-ish, when I can start doing the rest of the videos in the series. I'm going to assume about 5 videos, 10 years, 2 years per video, 5 videos of Doctor Who. It's definitely planned, but it's not my priority. My priority right now is editing The Swirl with me and Soraya. It's more just discussion as opposed to like hard facts and analysis. So the first one was Arcane. We talked about Arcane, you know, talked about it a little bit. And then the second one is the Book of Bill, which we're doing in 2 parts. We have the first part recorded, and the second part we can now record because I have an SSD. After that, I do also want to make a hell of a boss video. I might do that in between. My one hope is that although most large creators have their huge content burst during December, during Christmas time, maybe that means that they're going to cool off during January, February, and they're not really going to post much, which means that I can start posting my stuff, my little wacky stuff. Most of it's going to be, you know, analysis of animation and storytelling and whatnot for the time being. There are a lot of topics that I could talk about in depth that I'm sure people could find interesting. Up to you. Just, you know, give me a following. Like, legit, subscribe, ring the bell icon, make sure that you can, you know, get updated with all my stuff, and it's just going to keep getting better. And this leads me to my last point. So what have I learned besides what I've already mentioned before? My audio is pretty inconsistent. I know that audio arms are a very good thing to have, and they're also pretty cheap, but right now I just can't really move funds around. I need to pay rent. So for now, I will just try to speak at the microphone at the same level the entire time. Otherwise, angles, I'm still kind of struggling a little bit with angles, but they're okay, they're here and there. Also, I do need to start dressing up. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired of looking like a wet dog whenever I record. It's winter, so I'm not in my tip-top summer shape right now, but you know, we'll function. We'll be fine. What else? I guess it was a little exhilarating figuring out how to work around copyright. Yeah, that was, man, it took me 48 hours basically, damn near. Maybe like 36 to 40 hours to finally like fully upload that video, because at first it would just show me one by one, but then I realized if you clicked on the more information, it shows you every single one on the list, and I kept rendering based on that one thing that they picked out. I learned. I lived. I learned. We're good. We're Gucci. That video has 35 views right now, and it's the day after Christmas. Merry Christmas. I hope that you had a wonderful one. I know it's the day after, and this will probably be posted tomorrow, but I hope it all went swimmingly well. I think that's about it. Just keep your eye out on any updates. I usually post in the community tab. Subscribe, please. I have 1 subscriber, technically 2, but one of them's me, so that doesn't count. I gotta be able to keep an eye on myself, my editor, I'm in business with my editor. So thank you very much for joining me. That was it, just a little update. Hopefully it won't run too long after I trim it up, and I will see you next time. The next video to come out will be the painting video. I painted a painting for my mother for Christmas, and I recorded it. That should be fun. So keep an eye out. Have a great one. Happy New Year. This video should make it out in time for me to say that. Happy New Year.